Good morning, folks. It's 10:25 a.m. on 12th day, 4th month, 2023. What I'm looking at here is what's going to impact Australia on Friday before lunchtime. It'll be well inland at a very low pressure, packing a wallop of a wind. And so I had to ask a basic question. When I see a wind like that, 137 miles an hour, where is that wind being measured at, right? Because I had to ask this yesterday. So I went on and asked a basic question. And so I'll let it be answered by them. It says here, the hurricane hunters typically measure winds at the core of a storm. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it a little better. If I increase this, it will. Right. Hurricane hunters typically measure winds at the core of a storm at 10,000 feet and then reduce it by 10% for surface level, and high altitude flights reduce the winds by 20. And so what I've done is I set my my altitude at 10,000 feet, which is with 3,000 meters. Okay, so when I calculate my winds, that was just what a live would look like if I was running Facebook, and I'm not. So I've set all my my settings on Windy that I use, the premium service, so I can actually show it. And thank you for your help each month to keep paying that, so I can use it. So I set my altitude here, and the other side of my screen I can do this. I could come over here on this side here. Excuse me, man. All right, I'm going to make this happen so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so right here, I can actually set this at 10,000. And I go right up here, boom, 3,000 feet. There it is, 10,000 feet. And I'll reduce these numbers by 10% that you see. And so here's where Jeffrey Higgins is about to make a big fuck up. And so I'm going to go back to my... which one do I have loaded here? Yeah, I'll turn that one off. I'm going to go back to this screen. So, with it set at 10,000, I want to go through the wind speeds of this storm. Get everything on screen. It's still taking me time to learn how to hold everything like this again. This is how I originally started out at doing videos, is by just aiming a phone at a screen, holding it in a holder, try to make sure it's level. Yes, I had some Ritz crackers. Everyone wants to pick at me. And yeah, here's where it is now. It should be starting to turn into shore because it's cleared the Penis Insula, and the EMF waves around here are holding it from going any further inland. It'll barely scrape Port Hedland, though the winds and the tides will affect it. Now, as it comes ashore, the wind speeds at 10,000 feet. They're going to be about 114 to 120 miles an hour. It depends where I search on this. Okay, so I'm going to have to deduct, even from here, straight off. I got to take 11 miles an hour off that speed. Right in my head. I'm at 96 miles an hour surface level. Okay, this is how they calculate this. I wasn't understanding that yesterday, remember? And so I asked that question so we can all know. And it's 10,000 feet, then 10% taken off. Is how you calculate the wind speed to be expected. Now, I also know you add forward momentum of the storm, and it gets more fierce as it comes ashore. This is unbelievable. And even the curve of this coastline is going to add to the effect of holding that eye together. And this area here, right in here, you are absolutely fucked. You get the fuck out of here. If you're here, you get out. Me telling you if you're along this Marineland Park was quite accurate yesterday. You're camping out here, you will leave now. My advice is to head south along the coast. You should find safety relatively quickly. You may get some range of winds, but you ain't gonna get this scouring that's going to occur. Your boats will be gone if you leave them in any of these harbors or areas along here. So we now know how to calculate the wind speed of a hurricane or a storm like that. And it went into a little detail about how they fly, where they fly, and the hurricane modifiers. I mean the hunters. You don't have to hunt it. It's right there. It's very big. You got to see it. It's like hunting the elephant in the room. All you got to do is open your eyes. So the 10,000 foot winds and that is nothing you're going to want to fly a plane through. That's for sure. The old 132. Whew. God dang, man. You're going to subtract 13 miles an hour from that and you're just shy of a category 5. Just shy. But that's at 10,000. That's right at surface level. So this is going to be the deadly. I'm calling it category 3 because logical. At the time it's there, you're still experiencing, oh my God, winds. Inland, 100 miles an hour, sustained winds. I don't know if the roofs of these buildings are designed to take this. Root cellars might be invaluable to stay in, but will they flash flood and actually flood out the storage you're in is something you're going to have to do. You're determining that. I would not be in the path of this storm if you paid me. Even as one that checks out storms, I would want to be go well south. Matter of fact, I think I would plan a trip to go see the eclipse. And just hang on out. Because they're going to get a hell of a show there on the 20th. And it's looking good. And even inland there, some of the winds here are still at hurricane strength or tropical cyclone strength. You guys are in for unbelievable. I've never seen a storm sustain its flows and its winds this far inland, or it doesn't have the tropical warm waters to flow underneath it to feed it, as we were always taught. So something is recreating the conditions of that. I know you got a desert here. I know you got soggy soils, and that could act like an ocean of warmth and moisture. I thought about that. I also thought about the flows of the high pressures around the sides of it flowing in, mimicking the same type effects, causing certain sublimations, laminar and lateral flows that are needed to move this thing inland as fast as it's going. And it's trucking. Absolutely trucking. Look at these lead winds in front of this at 10,000 feet. Some of these in 100 miles an hour. If I take this up real high, we go up into where the jets are flying. It's about, we had 13 kilometers. 11,000 kilometers up. You really get a seeing a doldrum of winds. As it comes ashore, them high winds up here, I'm very curious the forward momentum are actually less, which surprises. Geoengineer much. See, you ain't seeing the same upper level. So all the action's down low. There's a middle level there that's going slow. Like a dynamo. When I take it down to 7,000 meters, you're getting the winds again. So this is how you make lightning. You're crushing that. Let's see if I can show you maybe. You're showing differences in flow, right? You get one here slow, one here is fast. It's a friction creator. Strips ions, positives and negatives to help fuel the storm, add to its electrical properties. Something is in there beaming into that speck. It stalls it. Radars beam on many levels with their phased arrays. Phases and things working together as one. A bunch of little antennas working as one. And it could beam in many spots on these dipolar, quadpolar radars, the new generation X-rays. And so that could be evidence of it going to be being used. And so let's go back to lookings. I do like that I can kind of show myself a little bit, use my hands for explainings. But I want you to have a good look at this storm. And not sure I'm going to cover New Zealand today. Because I want to go a little more in depth on this. Because this is important. Now we have a bubble up. Now look at the winds off the coast down here. Right at that level of the atmosphere. Right, that's what I'd be expecting to see up there. I ain't expected to see that low wind. So I'm going to take it back down to 7,000 up to 10,000 feet. Oops, it did a round on me. Back to the wind. And I like to have that measurement they're doing. That's just surface wind. And I want the calculation at 7,000. That's 6,000 feet. Here we go, 10,000 feet. All right, we're back at where the measurement is. Remember to do your math on your 10%. Here she comes. My gosh, it's going to pull one hell of a storm surge. It's going to be a bubble of water. 100 miles an hour winds near the outskirts, 1, 2, 3. Outskirts at that level of the atmosphere. You'd safely call it. It's right on the edge of a Cat 4. Right, subtract your 13. Right, you're just under it. It's 126, not 125. We don't add to numbers to make things worse. It's bad enough. You wouldn't want to be in it anyhow. Right? You wouldn't want to be in when it was a Cat 1 coming ashore. You won't want to be down here Mary Poppinsing it up with an umbrella during this one. Otherwise, well, we'll watch you fly. Watch me fly like the old phoenix if you had a lighter in your hand. But then again, you know, Icarus had a waxy day, didn't he? Wax on. And wax came off. Miyagi. Oi, Waxel. Don't be whacking after this storm, that's for sure. This thing is going to be a deadly critter. And the path of destruction looks to be the towns along this line here. Yeah, it's coming to shore right where I said yesterday. Right through this valley here. So this lake here is getting a break because it's on the south side. But anything to the north side, these here, you're fucked. You're devastated. Your cottage is gone. You live in a houseboat or something. Move it or lose it. Huh? Yeah, I told you yesterday. Your time is running low to do it. Because the roads to get things out to places have already had problems this last few months. Right? And anybody that doesn't understand that, I'm just watching this one, Pat. Here she comes. She's coming ashore. She's still hitting a high pressure that high. Right? Then we should start to lose a lot of the farm of the eye by then as Alice Springs takes over. Blasts the moisture apart and zooms it across the nation, splits it in two bats. You see this front line of wind? It's telling you something. It's going to hem the chem up through Queensland. So you have a really windy day there and it coming across this parts of Queensland as it all draws everything down here. And the wind's coming through these mountains and stuff. I should not be taken lightly. I'm going to bring that down to surface level now. Right? Those things shouldn't be taken lightly because it's gusty. When you got winds up top that are moving that fast and winds down low moving that slow, downbursts will happen and conditions can often turn tornadic in those areas, hail and such like that. Downbursts, trees falling. Trees falling. Nicholas song from the vampires. Eating dinner in the grove. The grove, bunch of grovers. Grovers growling. I'm doing a determine about this high. I mean, I'm so happy to see New Zealand getting a spot of high. They're not out of the woods yet. So let's do a quick look at what the weather plan is to expect it to be. And I may look at a couple comments. What else is going on? So I'm going to load this for you here. I'm going to give New Zealand their first shot. Let's see if we got any comments. We got a hi, Robert. Hiya, Tanya. Hiya, Gordon. Hiya. Oh, I don't want to accidentally turn things off. I don't want to turn the filter on by mistake, too. Good morning, Emma. And good morning, Miss Coburn. Always remember, when you see the name Cockburn, the cock is always silent, like a Bud Light. Bud Light. You open up the can and said, "Stop teasing." Excuse me. Moonshine washing lines as the low creeps in from those South Wales. It starts creeping and creeping and it creeps. Yeah, to be in with the moon low. And it'll impact New Zealand looking like it. It'll be a Sunday morning, your time. You'll see this straightening things off coast. According to the weather plan, it's all being held off. Why would they hold it off? Oh, to make that warm thick. Make that cool, dense tropical air, because it's going to be dense and cold. That the tropical air is now mixed with a dense pocket here. I don't know what layer of the atmosphere they're going to move that on. And you're going to start to see as I play with the winds, you're going to learn some things I know. And how I watch moving of moisture through various layers of the atmosphere that might be slower or faster than others. Yes, no, look for your laminar and lateral flow lines. And Google it. You'll get some terminology to learn about science. It can move nanoparticle swarms the same way. Same thing is done. Can it be done with EMF? Can it be done with RF? What's the difference? One's radio frequency is analog, and the other is digital. on and off different waveforms, squares, these things that shut up and on, things that can go fairly continuous to an overlap. But a digital signal is always sharper on you than a nice smooth sine wave. So I seek analog things. Oh, and a steamer forms off the coast on the 21st. It had to happen. Yep. You got a little bit of a saggy season coming here. Probably, when does the moisture start for Townsville and all that? It's probably about late Sunday night as the stuff comes over and they hit an EMF flow to split it. You're going to have a 14 line of pressure running across the country from here to here. So that where the whole hand of mine is volatile. See that there? Sorry, I move it a little north. Right through there. Very volatile for storms, and a lot of tropical flow is stripping moisture in from something actually all the way over here. Hey, the Chmbombs here is going over there to detoxify your air. That's very clear. I'm not going to eat your green eggs and ham, and I don't want to breathe the Chmbombs you put there by the man. That's for sure. Right. As we moving on, the pressure of high pressure is completely blocked any and all flow at this moment. And it's not going to last long, because that's going to boop over underneath New Zealand. Hello, United States. Hey, let's get back to where I was. Wow, that's very dramatic, guy. Quite a swipings that went on there. Right, because the bubble up is about to occur when this and here will start interacting with each other. A low will form there. Spit this it goes whammo, half of that, the other half goes over here. It should kind of truck right on down into this, because that 73 should swallow that number well. But that 1035 over here has to be being done with an atmospheric heater. It's winter time down here. You ain't having a fucking high like that in winter. You hardly see one like that in summer. So I'm expecting some atmospheric heating to be going on. Right as it goes past this island, that I know for sure has a great big next red on it. I absolutely know that. It looks like a bird's head to me. Here's the crest, here's the beak, a substance on it. The underfloor structure looks very similar to. Hey, the volcano looks like it's where a stinger hit a big bird in the head. But that's my imaginary. Plate tectonics. Next. Hey, let's just zoom this right along. Let's hear some clicking noises instead. Instead of the world's loudest scratchy mouse anybody ever used. Hey, Fiji, look at yourself here, huh? You finally get a little wetness? Yeah, we'll jump between stats there. Here's your totals. Oh, I was saving it for last. Hey, Fiji, you escaped it, but not fully. Suva Bay is going to have a bit of action here on the 10th. But you're moving a lot of moisture left and right, up and down, east and west, north and south. Toxins run to rivers' mouths. Remember that. What you put on your land that washes out to sea, you might as well just go pour a bucket of it in the ocean. Think about that. Next time you don't choose to use salt and vinegar as a defoliant. Or you can realize, man, a dandelion is very healthy and useful. Why has it been deemed ugly? The lawn industry, they want you to buy fertilizers and petrochemical shit to put on it. I told you have to have a lawn. It looks like the greed over at the Masters. The last time I checked, I didn't see my neighbor out there putting on his yard. Otherwise, I'd have joined him. As I'm looking at some of your totals here on the 5s coming ashore, it's very high. You're talking 20 centimeters in some of these spots. You're going to get 30. I don't always agree with what they're telling you. I'm just going to tell you straight out my determinants from looking at all of them. You got 3 big swaths that are going to get split off in this. Of this, I'm 100% sure. You can see them out to sea already. You can see the bombaciousness, and it's how it comes ashore. They'll spit it. It'll happen about here. They gotta dissolute the moisture before it gets here. I'll split it off, and so the storm can continue a lot less devastatingly across. They want all its electrical conductivity, all its chem, and a lot less if it's moisture and wind. So they can start to swell the dreams of the streams, and you know what I mean. Swell the streams, kill the dreams. So, with that said and with that done, we're going to look at a few other things. So, weather plan for the, I don't know, what do you guys want to see? Every day. How about the radar? Hey, radar. I'll show you something really cool. Right. Yeah, I'm looking at this, right? And it's this is a site where I look at Isla, right? And it comes up with a screen for this, right? Let me see if we can find it, if I still got it loaded here. Right, I get pressures currently in this storm. I'm going to go over this now. This is my CIMS page. It's talking exactly what I said, right? She's Cat 2 now. As soon as she rounds the corner, this side of the 8 gets, even with that, she's coming ashore. All the chem has been laid in a line to do this. She'll be Cat 3 when she hits it. Quickly go down below into tropical storm strength. That's why it's still got that symbol. Right? You can look at this picture and see all the chem that's in it. This is what they say. You see the firework going off right here. Boom, boom, boom. And so I can put this on lots of imagery I had loaded up here. I wanted you to see these intensities and the winds currently of what they're tracking in the center of this storm. Now, this is kind of useful. I could change between images pretty quickly. I like to turn off the proposed tracks because they're very often wrong. Right? This is just somebody's guess. I'll let the Chmbombs tell me where it's going to go. Forecast, goodbye. Now I can flip between infrared and all sorts. And you'll have to find that through that CIMS tropical cyclone page, which I will pop you a link to after the show. Okay? And so I can see a lot of the storm dynamics that go on in this. And I can go to other sites and make movies happen. I can do captures and GIFs and all sorts through a few of my other sites. And there's the timestamps, 8:20 UTC, which was about 2.5 hours ago my time. You can see some bomb centers here, and here. I got the same cold temperatures, but then right there at the very top is a little bit warmer than right there. So that's telling you something's been deployed as hotter. And then it should be very cold up there. Right. So this page is very convenient. Tropical cyclones, satellite perspective, CIMSS. You Google that, you'll come up with it, or whatever you choose as your search engine. And you have lots of different choices you could do from here. I think you'll find the page very interesting. Right. Now, I'll get that to you. And get it to you. Coming to you on a dusty road. They get some Chmbombs. They got a fuckload. Oh my God, look at the bombings and the plummets. All right, here's your current image from as of looks like it's almost an hour old. I'm not reloading the whole thing. This is actually, I chose to use the visible grayscale because it was showing me much more shadow definition to the tops of the cloud. And I could see a lot more of the bombs in this one, so I'm using it. Visible grayscale. Boom. Look at the curves going into this. This isn't yin and yang, man. This is far from harmonious to me. But you know, the Nautilus shape with Fibonacci sequences, sacred mass are definitely used for leverage as a lever arm. Now look at the triple bomb formation right here. 1, 2, 3. Let's just look at this one first. Boom. To the penis. And more bombs deploy in straight lines, curving back. Just tendrils of magnetics showing inside this storm is the magnetic particulates find the flux lines of magnetism that are seeking ground. And 3 more launched right here. Triple shot. Boom, boom, boom of the plumes. Look at the ones on the edge out here. Boom, boom, boom. We'll advance this 10 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Which line do you want to look at? The one that isn't curving in, is straight, right? Top of these storms flow that way. Bottoms flow in. Convection. Think about that. Now watch this deployments. Boom. See this the round percussion ring with more deployments in it. See this right here? It's impossible to deny that this is a man-made storm. And this is before it's coming ashore. This is before it's going to make its extremely fast strengthening. I have never seen a storm strengthen as fast as this, as it compresses towards the shoreline. So I'm very interested to see how this is done. The shape of the shoreline is going to be a key. The curve is a key. She comes in and has just enough stall, but it keeps that, it shaves it like a lathe. Yeah, carpenters, I just brought your understanding into this. Oh, look at this plume, how it came up. This all should be funneling in a vortex. We shouldn't have these boom boom plumes on the outside. Like this. Hey, Q, invert that mirror magic from Q here with a big square in the center. Big square in the center. That's obvious geoengineering going on. Of Australia. How many squares we got here? Squaring up a storm. Boom, 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 plum, 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 plum. Mr. Oppressor, give me a break. Can I have the weather that Mother Nature makes? Can I finally stop looking over my shoulder to see if a tornado is coming over? Mr. Chemman, give me a break. Stop busting my balls and take. Boom, 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 boom. You can see the deployments, right? Even in what's supposed to be the A, moving the wrong way. Wrong way, Charlie up here. Look at this curved line here. It's not just ripples of EMF. Look at the dot. Look at the dot. The shadows caused by this. The sun must be on that side. Look at the square. It's not funneling in. It's not, and then a ripple here. Boom, with a square. With bombs. Boom, 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 boom. Is these possible shaped charges that are being used to make predictable explosive reactions and shock waves? Any of you people work quarries and explosions? No, I'm correct. Look at a shock wave right here. You get the boom, 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 and then pow. This circle. More over here with the arrow. Boom. If something shot out. Right here. It's even pointing where they're going next. Boom. Contaminated nucleations of cloud condensates. More of them going on over here at the Balgo Hill. Can you see that one okay? You know, from the nothings to the somethings. You will not deny geoengineering unless you're blind. And if you're blind, allow me to help you. It's wrong. The circle gets a square over here. With all the squigglies and all these jets of new nucleating contaminated clouds. Of God only knows what's in it. We deserve to know. And that right there is the most telltale signature of geoengineering I've fucking ever seen. I'm going to run that on fast. Now so you can get an idea. Pow! Boy, are they hitting it with some microwaves right there at the end. Look at the curve. It's the opposite direction. Everything should be... They got the curve wrong of the hurricane. It's wrong. It's a man-made cocaine. Somebody's doing some cocaine or something. Think I'm going to believe that shit. Well, somebody's graduation project is thesis on how to do weather modification is doing something I've never seen. Super strengthening a storm just as it approaches a shoreline. Australia style. You ain't gonna see much over here because, like I said, I loaded grayscale of actual daylight time. But I'll load you what I get. It's not many frames that you'll actually see anything. Because the sun went down over Australia towns and the Chmbombs fell down. Hey, atmospheric compression when things get cold and they get dense. There's always a fallout. Right around before sunset, you hear people start sneezing all at once. Usually that's cams. Right, I'm not happy with that picture, so I'm gonna go and see if it loads. Hey, we'll switch over to the infrared grayscale now. I wanted to show that that action right there. So as that loads, I'm gonna go to something else for a moment. Take you back here. Let me let you see the weather radar. Right, there she is, cold taps, hot bottoms. Hot bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. Why if they have to be fat? They just be hot, it's hot. Different strokes for different folks. You know, lots of strokes for some folks. What a fucking shame. You see that one being nucleated here that I was just going over the Chmbombs of? It's hard to find the detail in a satellite image of a streamer creating very cold cloud. Now, what is that, dry ice pellet or something else fizzing out? Sulfuric acid makes heat when it forms, usually. Sulfur dioxide creates ions, a little bit of cold, and hydrogen plumes. Yeah, that is one of its byproducts. And it also makes milky water. Yeah, it makes things look all whited out. Lots of Chmbombs just descending. Chris, Karratha, Port Hedland, Marble Bar, and all these outskirts there. Old John Lindians get a Jenny Retton Skate. They're doing a couple sturdy club dates in England. Yeah, in honor of his wife that died, John Linden's wife. Yeah, I might find myself to one of the shows. I'd like to go see him one of the clubs. They're doing them in like clubs. It'd be a treat. The Daily Rivers get some really heavy skulls that went over the top of it here. The old Jabberoo in Pine Creek catches some action. Coming to Chris. What is this? Error cunt. He's getting cunted. Yeah, did I? Arukum. Arukai. Hi. He says, Chmbombs them here. Hi. Man, you must be high. Just was looking at your moisture in the beam that came off in New Zealand. Yeah, there's a guiding beam is actually coming Chris. Here, I can't get past. So I know this. This was just for my own sins. I'm not going to go over Mimic today. Yeah, that's another image that I have of this storm in motion. That I downloaded earlier from another page that I used. Because I wasn't happy with this satellite image here. The center of the storm just happens to be cut off, so I can't look at where it's coming. Right where it's coming ashore. It's coming ashore right here. All right? They take out the storm where I can't see it. What are the odds of that, eh? Over here, 80 Mile Beach Marine Park. Well, you want to have about half of them miles really, really fucked. And so I could look at some of these Chmbombs and maybe. This image just came in. I've been waiting on it, actually. That's why it was blacked out earlier. So I can actually now see some of a much closer view of some of these Chmbombs on the outskirts of this man-made cyclone, the clonacone. Look, it's a bomb in the center with streamers going out toward the center point of nucleation. Same here. Is it doing the super zooms on this? We're going to zoom, zoom. And they think they're all speaking ubby-bubby, thinking nobody else knows it. Bye, friends. Somebody out there just had a memory lane. Yes, that's it. How are we going to communicate? We'll speak ubby-bubby. See the center point with the streamers? That's Chmbombs deployment. They're gonna be fireworks. It gets really good out here in the outskirts of the storm. And really good views. And it's given a different color. As it could be taken as the sun went down and different layers of the atmosphere are lighting up different layers of count. Because I'm seeing green down here. Something's refracting light, so only the green wavelength is showing. Right? Or it could be a cloud of green stuff. Just we need to do our determining what's in these ice crystals refracting this light up here in the upper atmosphere. We all deserve an honest answer to this. All we can tell you is what's in the fallout, what's in hair samples, soil samples, water samples, food samples worldwide. It's all we can tell you. And those have been picking up incredibly high levels of heavy metals and nasties, of which I'm just not going to go all into today. I want to just show you some of the deployments that happened today. 9, the master number. Well, you could do it. It's one of them. The powers of the 369, as Tesla attempted to explain to us. Few understand it. If you understood it fully, you could manifest your way out of here. You could. This smiley face lollipop clown. And that's such a happy, smiley face here looking at the Chmbombs. Even inland where it's projected to go over here into this pad. It's already been pre-fed with chem. It's all energized. I don't know if you could quite pick it out in the haze here, but this square, or trapezoid looking, right over in an area of influence where Alice Springs could easily provide such a scalar square up in the upper atmosphere for things to nucleate into. Chmbombs, shadows, Chmbombs and shadows. Taking the light away from fauna that we're starving it to death. Triple shot right here. The Delta. Over Northern Territory, Tennant Creek, it was an absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. Look at the chemtrails over this lake. Over there. Terrible. The terrible lake. Now, the terrible chemtrail, we will not be calling lakes terrible. The beautiful, I love you water lake, and with a terrible chemtrail. With a bow in the sky. For you and I. My God. It's creepy looking. There's another square with tendrils. Boom, 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 boom. Just like I showed you, it was occurring over here. And which image was I in? This one. The tendrils. They come off on the outside. This is a really good one. Yeah, I could take this up quite high. You get right on up there. I'll get you a capture of it. Play. This is the last 23 hours. This is one's a very nice site. I got all sorts I can do here. Yeah, you see that? So I can go to exact times on here pretty much most days. And I know where there's the archive. This is the sickness mix streaming across Australia now. And it's a very current image. So, without temptation, I'm going to click that one there. I went from worldview to the cyclone page. I showed you that. I showed you this. No, this one's just loading now. I can come down to this corner and catch the flow that's coming from the sea interacting with the flow that came from Antarctica. And this is going to kick off some storms. It has to. The natural dynamics are there. This flow bump and that one is causing that to start to spin. And that's going to change the flow through the Cook Strait. And then this here is going to smack it. Wow, 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 wow. Have some flashing lights. I don't like that very much. Streamers coming in from the sea. See? Bzzz, getting fried. Strayest style. Wow, bzzz. Are we loaded yet? Yeah. Oh, boy, what a mess that is, eh? Right, she's going in every freaking direction you can of the wind. Boom, ba boom, 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 plum. Fuck you all, they don't care. They're bombing you here, toxifying all your air. Uncle Scam's coming your way. Sales pitch is taking life away. False flag in the night confirms that no intelligence on Earth is here. Boom, 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 boom. I love my country. It is true, it is far from what I was told freedom was as it can be. When corporate products are forced in your body and you're not allowed to speak freely, to question things that you would like to have in governance towards you and not have towards you, you are in a fascist corporate state where products of the corporation back up the economies of nations, where petroleum, which we no longer really need as much of as we're using for fueling and moving things, with free energy of Nikola Tesla, the master of the 369, told us all about, is being propping up countries. We don't need it. And to get that stuff, they have to taxify places like this, beautiful forests and lands and aquifers of beautiful, pure, clean waters that are slowly not becoming pure anymore as they inject toxic chemicals to pull oil out. And we don't need all them batteries and stuff for all this crap they're making. We have free energy devices that the sky itself provides from the universe that we can bring down around us and into our devices to power them without a meter on it. When there'll be no Mr. Excellent controlling everything, blocking your sunlight, so you have to have higher bills, higher heating bills, or they can take the sunlight away to cook your freaking asses. So you have to have your air conditioning on. And while all this stuff here is going on, there's less oxygen in the air. There's less light. There's less oxygen for the trees to photosynthesize and eat. When you start victimizing carbon dioxide, then you're victimizing our very breath. And as I look at this abomination here, when I look at all you beautiful people out there watching that care, I know we could fix this. Or what purpose have we come here for on this planet? We're not here to rape and take. We are here to nurture nature and be humane beings that are going to be humane. Big love. Peace.